everyone, and welcome to the Spotlight. I'm Brittany Duffy.
And I'm Ashanti Stewart.
Spotlight News is here, filling the community with Southeastern University's campus updates, news, and sports. Hurricane Patricia, the once Category 5 storm that hit Mexico this past Friday, has caused catastrophic damage to the country. Now Category 4 and winds sustaining 130 miles per hour, Patricia has caused major flooding and landslides, but there are no recorded fatalities at the moment. Families are fleeing their towns to seek stable shelter to stay safe while the storm runs its course.
A baby born with most of his brain missing has intrigued the medical world and inspired countless others. Jackson Buell's parents say doctors can no longer predict a prognosis for their one-year-old son. Jackson was diagnosed with an incurable disease. According to Channel 10 News, when Brittany Buell was only 7 weeks pregnant, she found out that her baby had an extreme brain malformation for which there is no cure. She refused to terminate the pregnancy despite doctors telling her he wasn't likely going to make it full term. Jackson was just 4 pounds and 15 inches. After a few weeks in the hospital, he was discharged. Jackson had defied the odds and continued to surpass all expectations. Jackson turned 1 in August and now weighs 12 pounds, about half the average size of an average child. Jackson keeps hitting milestones and doing so many things she says doctors would said he will never be able to do as yet.
Wendy Bradshaw, a Polk County teacher, has recently resigned from her position. Bradshaw says that she is tired of making her students cry every time she's required to give them standardized tests. Bradshaw made a statement to the press saying, "My biggest concern is that basically our youngest children are being subjected to educational malpractice. It's not an education anymore. It's not teaching them to love learning. They're being subjected to curriculum that is not appropriate for them and teaching materials that are not appropriate." While the state of Florida continues to move onward with standardized testing, Bradshaw has gotten a lot of feedback both from teachers and parents, while most parents are supporting Bradshaw's decision.
A South Carolina girl has been arrested for texting in class, prompting a civil rights case. The teenager refused to turn in her cell phone after texting in math class and was flipped backward and tossed across the classroom floor by a sheriff's deputy. When the sheriff was asked about the altercation, he said she might have received a rug burn but was not injured. Although adults at the school felt the officer had acted appropriately, others seemed to differ because there was a lot of force forced upon the young girl. There was so much outrage that was stirred up that the officer had called the FBI and Justice Department for help. According to Channel 8 News, the girl was asked to leave her seat or be forcefully removed, and when she refused, action was taken upon her.
On another note, we are going to take a look at one of the many small businesses here around Lakeland, Small Cakes. Kaylee Baker has the inside scoop.
Hey everyone, today I am outside of Small Cakes, a cupcakery in Lakeside Village. They're growing across the country and I get to go inside and talk to a manager to see what this business will be doing in the next couple of years. Like all businesses, big and small, Small Cakes had to come from somewhere. It started in Missouri, but how did it find its way to Lakeland?
There is 2 couples that own this store. Sean and Katie, and then Mike and Heather. And Mike and Heather lived in Georgia. Sean and Katie, who live here in Lakeland, were up visiting them, and both Katie and Heather were pregnant at the same time. So when they were up visiting, they needed cupcakes like every night. They ended up going to the Small Cakes in Macon while they were visiting up there, and then they just fell in love with the company and the cupcakes and decided to open one down here in Lakeland.
Not only is the company growing, but individual locations have shown expansive growth as well.
I see it continuing to grow. We're in a great plaza. The owners of this one also own a location in Brandon. Both stores are growing, and we are also, in the next couple of months, opening a kiosk inside the Brandon Mall.
The cool thing about this company is that every store is different.
We have 12 signature flavors, which are the ones that we carry every day, and then we do specials throughout each day as well. In this store, in the Brandon store, we keep those ones the same, but as far as other franchises, they can choose whatever specials they want to do.
So come on down and see for yourself why Small Cakes is growing so rapidly. For the Spotlight News, I'm Kaylee Baker.
Thank you so much, Kaylee. Those cupcakes look delicious. In other news, the mother of an 11-year-old girl is in custody after finding her daughter dead in a family freezer in Bradenton. According to Fox News, the mother had a 15-year history of investigations with abuse and violence involving her 5 children. Kishana Thomas appeared in a Manatee County courtroom Tuesday for approximately the 8th time since questions first arose about her daughter Janiah's disappearance. Prosecutors confirmed that Janiah's body was positively identified as the child's relatives found frozen in a family freezer.
That was easily one of the most horrible stories I've heard recently. But if you want to hear something not so bad, you might want to stay tuned to Tell Me Something Good with Brenda Torres.
Thank you, Brittany and Ashanti. This is where I share inspiring and heartwarming stories from people just like you. Welcome to Tell Me Something Good. A family in California was able to turn a heartbreaking situation into a positive one. Days before her wedding, 27-year-old Quinn Duane called her mom, delivering the news that the groom had second thoughts about the nuptial and they had broken up. Since the Duane family had already paid for the reception at a well-known hotel, they decided to follow through with the event, but with a different guest list. The guest list consisted of residents of a local homeless shelter. 90 homeless men, women, and children attended and enjoyed a feast they wouldn't normally have. And another thing that homeless people don't normally have is health care, but not for those who live on the streets of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is where our second story takes place. For 2 to 3 nights a week, Dr. Jim Withers goes out in search of people living under bridges, alleys, and riverbanks. He rubs dirt on his jeans and hair in order to seem more approachable to those people he wants to help. For 23 years, Withers has brought quality health care to those in need. He even started a nonprofit called Street Medicine Institute, which gives supports to other communities who wish to start their own medical outreach programs for the homeless. So remember, there's always good in the world, and there's always a need to do a good deed. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Tell Me Something Good. Back to you, Brittany and Ashanti.
Thank you so much, Brenda. You always know how to brighten my day. One of America's favorite companies, whether you're ordering a new phone case or as college students ordering yet another textbook, Amazon had its grand opening here in Lakeland this past Wednesday. This massive distribution center has approximately brought 1,000 jobs and has been open for over a year, but decided to have its grand opening so that the mayor can check in on the inner workings of the facilities. Amazon says that the jobs will increase for the site during the upcoming holiday season. So, Ashanti, this is Amazon. It's a brand new thing. How do you feel about something being open for so long and then it having its grand opening?
You know, I think that is so great because, like you said earlier, it offered 1,000 jobs.
Absolutely.
Jobs are obviously, a great thing. So I think that the state of Florida is doing something amazing.
Absolutely. And it's said that it's going to open up so many more jobs for people, especially within the next couple months and everything. So I'm very thankful that Amazon is here. Get more textbooks because we're all college students.
Definitely.
Well, Ashanti, I don't know about you, but I'm extremely interested in the student body. So let's just take it to our Student Spotlight reporter, Annalise Ortiz, to see who she has in the Student Spotlight this week.
Thank you, Brittany and Ashanti. Hello, I'm Annalise Ortiz, and here on the Student Spotlight, today we have Sammy Roberts with us.
Hi, Annalise.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
So you're a junior here at Southeastern University, and what do you think is the best part about this school?
Honestly, the best part is the professors. They honestly are an amazing part of this school. They have a degree of caring that is not something you can replace at another school. The fact that they'll sit and pray with you, or if life happens, they're there to help you out, is something that is really awesome about Southeastern that I just love. So.
Well, I have to agree on you with that. And do you have any stories or anything you'd like to share that your testimony has influenced on people?
Yeah, this past fall semester, I decided to go on a missions trip to Haiti for the 3rd time. I've gone previously, and it was something that I decided to go again. And so I had a friend that I was interviewing for a class, and she's Haitian, and I was interviewing about Haitian culture. And I noticed that a lot of the answers she was giving me was very negative. And so I asked her about it, and she ended up sharing her testimony with me. And it was definitely something that had impacted her in a negative way. And so it was an opportunity that I had to share with her my experience and to tell her about how Haitian culture has affected me and how Jesus is impacting that nation in such an amazing way. And so after that conversation, God used it and opened the door for her to go on the missions trip in that spring break that I went on, and it completely revolutionized the way that she thinks about Haitian culture today. So.
Wow. Could you tell us a little bit more about Haiti and the goals and dreams that you have to go with that?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the first time I ever went to Haiti was my senior year of high school, and it was it was amazing because it really changed the way that I looked at God and my faith, and I ended up actually being baptized there, and that's when I really gave my life to pursuing God. And so now, something that I'm going to be pursuing in the future is, as an ESE degree, I'm going to be helping develop ESE programs in Haiti, special education, and it's going to be amazing because I want to help stop the victimization of individuals with disabilities there. So.
Well, thank you. And do you have anything else that you wish to tell us?
You know, Southeastern's an amazing school. I've been so blessed to be here, and I just love the fact that God has orchestrated for me to be here. So,
Thank you again, Sammy. Well, that is all the time we have for the Student Spotlight. Back to you, Brittany and Ashanti.
That was such an amazing interview, Annalise. In other news, Manatee County deputies are investigating whether the death of a Palmetto show horse is connected to a string of other crimes in South Florida. On Sunday, the 11-year-old horse named Fedrice de Blondel was found dead, dismembered, and butchered for his meat. The horse had recently just won awards in France and had just arrived at his new home several days before the crime. According to Channel 8 News, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office recommends horse owners to take proper precautions. There is a reward for information leading to the arrest in the case.
Thank you, Ashanti. Well, we are going to take it to Grant Bell with this week's Hot Topic.
Thanks, guys. October 21st, 2015 was known as Back to the Future Day, the infamous date of which Marty McFly and Doc Brown traveled to our present time period in the DeLorean.
Hill Valley, California, at 4:29 p.m. on Wednesday, October 21st, 2015. 2015?
Now, although the film presented many ideas about 2015 at that time, now that we are living in 2015 and have realized what has happened thus far, they were slightly off a bit. Hello everyone, I'm Grant Bell and this is Hot Topic. Now, in spite of these predictions from the film, we've asked the community of SEU to hear their thoughts on what the future may hold. Take a look.
I think there's going to be a lot of government oppression. I think Christianity is going to go downhill. It already kind of is. Our rights are slowly being taken away from us.
Like a society where everything's super clean and super efficient and stuff like that.
I think we're going to see people rise up and really take leadership in so many different realms, and I think that we're going to see the government change a lot. I think we're going to see churches change.
Yeah, no apocalyptic end of the world thing now. I don't think anything like that. Something sort of like Back to the Future kind of, but a little bit even further down the road. So yeah, hoverboards may actually be a thing. So
I'm excited to see what the future has.
From political changes to open possibilities of owning a hover car, it seems like you guys have interesting ideas about the future. Be sure to check back with us here at the Spotlight in the year 2045, and we'll see if you guys are right. Thank you everyone for joining me here on Hot Topic. I'm Grant Bell, and we'll see you next time. Back to you, Brittany and Ashanti.
Thank you so much, Grant. I love that at least one of us is always in touch with what is hot now. We are going to take a quick break and see what is going around on our campus and in the Central Florida area with Brandon and Alexis in sports.
Hello everyone, I'm Alexis Flugrat.
And I'm Brandon Crotchet, and here is your Spotlight Sports Update. After blowing out Ave Maria 66-0 for the homecoming game, the Southeastern football team traveled to Valley, Alabama on Saturday, October 21st to take on Point University in a game that had conference title implications. The Fire started off the game well, ending the first quarter with a 14-7 lead. However, the Skyhawks would answer back with 2 touchdowns and end the first half with a 21-14 lead. In the third quarter, things went downhill for Southeastern quickly as Point would put up 42 unanswered points and end the Fire's bid for a conference championship with a final score of 66-34. The Fire had 54 more yards of total offense than the Skyhawks. However, the 8 turnovers the Skyhawks forced definitely played a factor in the loss. One of the lone bright spots for Southeastern was Jarrell Reynolds' 244 rushing yards, accounting for nearly half of the team's total offense. And although the Fire are out of the conference championship hunt, they will still look to avenge a loss from last season as they will take on county rivals Weber International Warriors tonight at 7 p.m. at Victory Field.
Women's volleyball is near the end of their season and close to their conference tournament held on November 12th through the 14th. The ladies are currently 15-7 overall and 6-3 in conference play with only 3 conference games left. The ladies take on Ave Maria this Thursday at 7 p.m. in Naples, Florida.
The men's soccer team has been on an absolute tear their past few games, shutting out nationally ranked Thomas and conference rivals Warner, Weber, and Ave Maria by a combined score of 12-0. Goalkeeper Jorge Navarrete recorded 20 saves during that span, en route to not only his 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th shutouts, but also his 3rd Sun Conference Defensive Player of the Week and his first ever NAIA National Player of the Week. In addition, midfielder Pedro Ivo Diaz earned his 2nd Sun Conference Offensive Player of the Week award, and defender Kendall Kraus captured his 1st Sun Conference Defensive Player of the Week award. And after shutting out Ave Maria on Wednesday, the Fire captured the 2015 Sun Conference Regular Season Championship.
Women's soccer defeated Ave Maria on Wednesday 4-0 to remain in the hunt for a bid in the Sun Conference tournament. They also honored their 5 seniors, Bree Eldridge, Charity Nelson, Jamie Payton, Tori Irvin, and Ashley Lopez. Bree Eldridge and Jamie Payton were named to an academic district team by the College Sports Information Directors of America for their performance on the field and in the classroom. Congratulations, ladies. The Fire are now 9-6, looking forward to the conference tournament.
Now, speaking of women's soccer, we have right forward Carly Palmer here in the studio. Take it away, Alexis.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm here with soccer player Carly Palmer. Carly, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So you're a junior here at Southeastern. What has your experience been like thus far, and what has it been like being on the women's soccer team?
It's been amazing, honestly. I came into this school my freshman year and I just gained a family. It's been amazing. I have a bunch of sisters, and just my time here at Southeastern, it's had its highs and lows for sure, but overall I am so happy to be here, and I know this is where God wanted me all along.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here, definitely. So what position and role have you been on the soccer team?
Well, right now I play right forward. I just kind of score goals. I take players on, I score goals, I help assist. And as a role on the team, I would say just another teammate. You know, everyone on the team has a different leadership role, I would say. And, you know, you're a team player, you know, on and off the field. Like I said, we're all sisters, so we're there for each other day in and day out, whether we're playing soccer or whether we're just hanging out and talking.
So have you been right forward ever since you started playing here as a freshman?
No, I actually started off as a left back. So the reason being that I was just not fit yet, and so he stuck me back there. He was just basically trying to do it to get my fitness level up, and then once finally I got up to the level of expectation, I was finally able to start back up top. So.
Awesome. So how long have you actually been playing soccer?
Since I was 4 years old, so that's 16 years.
Wow,
now.
that is a really long time.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
very long.
Earlier this week, you had a very important conference game against Ave Maria, where you actually won 4-0, and you had the assist of the very first goal. So what was your mindset going into this important game, and what has it been throughout the game?
Very focused. We were very determined to get this win because it was do or die for us at this point. You know, if we lost, we would not have made it into the playoffs. And thankfully, we were able to get out there with a 4-0 win. And now we are currently in the playoffs. And it was also senior night, so that was a big thing. You know, this is the last time that the girls would have been stepping on the field as Southeastern University women's soccer players. So we really wanted to do this not only for the win, but to honor them and, you know, their last night. So we were very focused, but we were also trying to have fun because, you know, this is the sport that we've all grown up loving. So we really wanted to have fun, and, you know, having fun is winning, honestly. Well, not in all cases, but it was something pretty important to us. So that was definitely the mindset going into that.
Well, congratulations on that victory. Very important. So now what is key things to work on for the playoffs coming up?
Just to stay focused, basically. Stay focused, work hard, and, you know, stick to the plan that we have set by our coach.
All right, thank you, Carly. Now back to you, Brandon.
Thanks, Alexis. After traveling to Montgomery, Alabama last week for the Faulkner University Invitational, the women's golf team headed home victorious in the tournament. With an overall score of 661 and third-place finishes from both Andrea Lopez and Summer Johns, the Fire were able to edge out Mobile and Faulkner, who scored 662 and 665. Lopez and Johns both shot a 20 over 164. They and the rest of the Lady Fire will be back in action at Savannah, Georgia next week for the NAIA Fall Preview. The men's golf team finished fourth on their side of the tournament with an overall score of 599, 7 strokes behind first place Mobile. Gustavo Vaccaro and Juan Mija tied for fifth in the tournament, both shooting a 6 over 148. They will be back in action next week as the Fire travel down to Miami next week for the Adamonis Invitational.
Men's and women cross country both placed in the top 10 at the Sand Shark Invitational in South Carolina last weekend. Both teams competed against NAIA and NCAA Division II schools, with the women finishing 5th of 28 and the men placing 8th of 31. Top runners for both teams were Megan Fitzgerald, who ran an 18:36 5K, and Dion Casillo with a 26:30 8K. The Fire will host the Sun Conference Championships at Holloway Park on November 7th. The men are scheduled to race at 7 a.m., followed by an 8:15 a.m. women's horn.
Basketball season is just around the corner, and with that comes Southeastern's annual Hoops Madness, giving the fans a sneak peek on just what Southeastern Fire basketball is all about. Our Spotlight reporters Skip Davenport and Asher Polion were at the Furnace this past Monday night to give you, our Spotlight viewers, an inside look. Take it away, guys.
What's up, guys? I'm Skip.
And I'm Asher.
And right now we are here at the Furnace, and in a matter of minutes this place is going to be lit with Fire fans.
Tonight is going to be pumped. But before we get to all that, we had a chance to catch up with both our men's and our women's basketball coach.
And let's just say expectations are set pretty high for tonight and the upcoming season.
Hoops Madness, really be looking forward to the shooting competition. The girls have been kicking our butts every year when it comes to the shooting competition. The things I'm expecting from my players is we'll be a way more disciplined team this year. Guys, we can make shots from distance. Last year we were really inside and we had a guard who could really create on his own. So this year you'll see a conglomerate of guys scoring. You know, there's 5 or 6 guys who could go for 20 any night.
I think we're going to have a lot of depth. I think with losing 2 seniors last year, I think there was a little worry about that, but there's going to be depth, and it's just going to be exciting to watch because we're going to get to bring 2 very different elements of the game into our playing style, and it's just going to be really exciting to see how those mesh and how we grow.
In addition to the coaches, Fire fans also have their own expectations.
Tonight, I'm mostly pumped about the dunk competition and the scrimmage.
The scrimmage is like an NBA All-Star game. Then the dunk contest is just, it's unreal. So yeah.
After hearing that, I think I might go sign up for the dunk contest.
Oh boy. With Spotlight Sports, I'm Skip Davenport.
And I'm Asher Polion. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. Man, Alexis, what do you think about Asher entering the slam dunk contest? What do you think about that?
I think he should have definitely done it. I don't know if he had a height to do it, but seeing him try would have been definitely something humorous to see.
Well, I mean, he has played linebacker and safety in high school football, so I mean, I definitely think he's got some up. So I think he'd probably even do a lot better than some of our basketball players.
I don't know. Asher, he might need a trampoline.
No, I got faith in Asher. I got faith in him.
But those dunks were definitely cool. All right, well, that's all for campus sports, Brandon. How are things around the Tampa Bay area?
Not as good this week. Bucs fans were treated to some unfortunate heartbreak this past Sunday as the Buccaneers took on the Redskins at FedEx Field in Washington, D.C. After taking a commanding 24-7 lead into the half, the Bucs defense would begin to both bend and break, giving up 4 second-half touchdowns. Meanwhile, the offense would only be able to manufacture just 2 field goals. The final result was a last-second 31-30 loss. Even in defeat, though, Jameis Winston threw for 21 for 29 with 297 yards and 2 touchdowns, arguably his best start as a pro yet. Meanwhile, Doug Martin continued his comeback year with 136 rushing yards, averaging 7.2 yards per rush. The Buccaneers will have a tall task ahead as they travel to Atlanta to take on the undefeated Falcons and their high-flying top 5 offense this Sunday at 1 p.m.
Orlando City Soccer finished out their season Monday when they fell to Philadelphia Union 1-0, leaving their final 2015 record at 12-14. Founder and president Phil Rollins sent out a letter last week thanking the fans as he wrote it was unfortunate the team didn't make the playoffs in their first year. However, there was much to be proud of. Orlando City ended the season with one of the highest point totals for an expansion franchise in the MLS. They were 5-1 in final 6 matches of the season and have already established the MLS attendance record for an expansion club. He ended the letter saying, "Thank you once again for our undying loyalty, for your tireless support, and for your commitment to Orlando City."
After defeating the Buffalo Sabres at home on Saturday, October 17th, the Tampa Bay Lightning embarked on a 4-game road trip, one that they'd like to forget. With each game being decided by 1 goal, the Lightning would end up on the short end of that stick, going 1-3 during the trip. They will look to turn things around against the Boston Bruins at home tonight at 7 p.m. before once again embarking on a 4-game road trip.
Orlando Magic, who went 6-2 in preseason, hosted their season opener this past week, falling against DC. In the Magic's first 6 games, they have faced the gauntlet of, like we said, The NBA team Washington Wizards, Oklahoma City Thunder, Chicago Bulls, New Orleans Pelicans, Houston Rockets, and Toronto Raptors. The Magic posted a 4-14 record against those teams last season. Center Nikola said it'll be a tough test for us. Some very good teams right at the beginning, but it'll give us a good chance to see where we're at. It'll be a good mental test for us, depending on how we start to fight through adversity. Well, this has been your Spotlight Sports Update. I'm Alexis Flugrat.
And I'm Brandon Crotchet. Back to you, Brittany and Ashanti.
Thank you, Brandon and Alexis. Well, what was meant to be a fun celebratory day turned into a tragic day at Oklahoma State University. This past weekend, OSU held its annual homecoming parade where a woman drove her car into the parade, killing 4 people and injuring around 50. Adacia Chambers, 25, is under investigation and is waiting on blood test results to see if she was driving under the influence. Chambers' father told the press that it is very unlike her daughter and that she is not an alcoholic. Neither the victims or the families are able to understand what exactly happened during the parade, but investigators are collecting statements from 6 witnesses.
An 11-month-old Winter Haven has been transported to the nearest hospital after being found unresponsive with the residue of marijuana on his body. Medical responders say that the baby's eyes were wide open and not responding to any stimuli. Reporters say that Christopher Kraft, age 23, and Lauren McCann, 25, were both smoking marijuana while the baby was being watched over by them. Both were taken into custody. The baby is safe and is now in care of a family member.
Jerry Correll, 59, has been in prison for the past 30 years and is scheduled to be executed by lethal injection. Correll, back in 1985, was convicted of stabbing and killing his ex-wife, young daughter, and 2 in-laws. Correll is the 22nd inmate to be executed under Governor Rick Scott's term in office.
Tampa police have arrested a man they suspect was involved in several burglaries on the University of Tampa campus. Alerts were sent out to the students last Thursday when a man followed a student into a dorm, began opening unlocked doors, and stole cash and several items. According to police, they have arrested 30-year-old Devon Hildeberg with charge of burglary, grand theft, and battery.
To fill everyone in on entertainment, if you have not yet heard Adele's new song, Hello, you are missing out on the #1 fastest selling single of 2015. The Billboard charts have hit an all-time record for this year, and the newest single, Justin Bieber, Sorry, is reported to have about half the amount of ratings as Adele. Aside from music, relationships are always a priority in Hollywood. After almost 4 years of dating, Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield have decided to split. Sources say that the two still love each other but decided to go their separate ways. And lastly, in Southeastern entertainment news, this upcoming Monday night at 7:30 p.m., SCU will record yet another live album at the Polk Theater in downtown Lakeland. Come join SCU Worship and Friends as they have a full night of worship.
That was a great entertainment update. I love hearing about what is going around Hollywood. Well, for the last part of our show, we are going to see what Grant and Brenda have for us. I think they have just one more thing to say.
Hello everyone, we've had a fantastic show, but before we go, here's one more thing. Check this out. A teen girl in Virginia faces charges for assault and battery after throwing a baby carrot at a teacher. Yes, you heard correctly. Aaliyah May decided to throw a carrot at her teacher as a joke, which hit the teacher in the forehead. Aaliyah is now suspended and has to appear in court. Don't you think that's too harsh of a punishment? Like, that's crazy.
Definitely, that's pretty insane. I've never even heard of that before. Well, if you thought that situation was ridiculous, let me introduce you to life vlogger Morris Villarroel, who has recorded every single detail of his life for the past 5 years. He has filled over 180 notebooks and has captured about 1,200 photos on a camera he strapped to his chest. Morris says it's nice for me to have a whole series of moments to look back on and maybe share in the future. And we think we're crazy for taking too many selfies.
Yeah, all I can say is ain't nobody got time for that.
For sure.
Well, this concludes this edition of One More Thing. I'm Brenda Torres.
And I'm Grant Bell. Back to you, Brittany and Ashanti.
Thank you so much, Grant and Brenda. Well, that is all we have today for the Spotlight, filling you with the latest campus updates, news, and sports. On behalf of the entire Spotlight cast and crew, I'm Brittany Duffy.
And I'm Ashanti Stewart. Have a fantastic week, everyone.